Purple haze all in my brain. Lately things don't seem the same. Acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm going up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Help me! Help me! Purple haze all in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. You got me blowing my mind. Is it tomorrow or just the end of time? Hi, I'm Eric Stern. Welcome back to JUKEBOX Radio. Now, if you've seen this series before, you'd probably think that I would start by saying something like, well, that was Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, otherwise known as James Marshall Hendrix, born in 1940, blah, 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 in Seattle, Washington. And then I talk about blues and the appropriation and rock and roll and maybe the London scene and maybe Timothy Leary and Ken Kesey, but no. That was just to show you that you can play anything on the accordion. That's right, including Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix on the accordion? It's like an orange on the Seder plate. Well, let me tell you, there's room at the table for everything with the accordion. So, let's get to it. I'm going to show you mine. One of mine. I want to explain the ins and outs a little bit about the accordion. And I also want to say, not too much about this, but in the States, it's a much maligned instrument. You know, when I used to walk down the street with the accordion, people would shout out, polka! Because when people in this country think of the accordion, they think of this. And there's lots of reasons for that, and you can research it. A lot of people think it had to do with Lawrence Welk show, but we can't blame Lawrence Welk for everything. For whatever reason, it's considered uncool, and then sometimes it's considered so uncool that it's cool, and then it goes back to uncool. Interestingly enough, in other parts of the world, there's not this dilemma about it at all. The accordion is played in many countries throughout the world, and it's not a problem. And I'm not going to get into whether it's cool or not, or why people even think of those things. You know, it reminds me of my great aunt. She always used to say, Because there's always these articles coming out, so-and-so has started a new accordion store, or so-and-so plays accordion, and although much maligned for so long, now the accordion might just be coming back in vogue, but it never seems to. This great aunt of mine, she'd always say, she liked big band music, like Glenn Miller and stuff like that, and this was in the 80s, and she'd always say, like, well, I hear it's making a comeback. Glenn Miller Big Band never made a comeback. I'm not sure accordion will, but what I want you to do is to just judge it on its merits alone, and then you can decide, right? So dispel all your preconceived notions of accordion, breathe. If you think of a polka, acknowledge it and let it go. All right, let's get into it. So, on the right side, you have something that looks like a piano. Now, of course, this is a piano accordion, but there are button accordions, and I don't have any, and I don't play them, but I love them. They're chromatic and diatonic, but for our purposes, we're going to talk about this piano accordion, right? And it's the same piano keyboard, the same set of musical relationships that you have on a piano. Now, there's all sorts of registers. You push a button, and we'll get more into the inside of the accordion soon, so just hold on. But you push a button, and it'll make a sound. It'll play one of the reeds inside. Push another button. Here's a higher reed. Here's another one. Here's a couple reeds together. It's different reeds together. So you've got lots of possibilities. All right, and then this switch plays them all together. The air comes from these bellows, right? And they're semi-permeable membranes, and the air comes in, and that's really the wonderful thing about playing the accordion. What makes it different than the piano is that you can do all sorts of things with air and breath, just like you're singing. Oh my goodness, this instrument is so close to my heart, literally close to my heart right now. I'm holding it. That's the other thing about the accordion. It's like you're dancing with your lover. All right, so air. So much for the right side of the accordion. Now, the left side, people always ask about that. What about all these buttons? Well, there's let's see, I'll get a little closer. There are these buttons that are bass buttons, right? Single octave notes. And then chords. A chord is 2 or 3 notes, in this case 3 notes. So if you have a C chord in your right hand, same thing here. Now, for those who are musically a little bit advanced, the keyboard, this is called a Stradella button keyboard, there's different ones too, but proceeds down in fourths. Or up in fifths. And across we have major, minor, 7th, and diminished. And so you play the bass. You can play it all different ways. The most common way is to play a note, and then the chord, and then another note. That's sort of the pa-pa way of playing. There are more advanced ways where you... So that's the outside of the accordion. Let's go look at the inside of the accordion, all right? Let's do an autopsy. By the way, while I'm here, getting the accordion off, I'd like you to see my wonderful pants. They were custom made by a friend. All right, let's look inside. Well, hello! Let's take a look at the insides of the accordion. Here we are on the operating table. Okay, so this is the piano side of the accordion, or button side if you play button accordion. And this is called the grill, and we'll come back to that. I'm going to take it off, and here is what happens if you press a key. One of these levers comes up. All right, that's on the front. So what happens on the inside? One of these levers comes up, and there's a little hole there. There's a little space. I don't know if you can see that when I press these keys. All right, now this is all very complex, but I'll be with you every step of the way. Because what happens is that usually there is a reed block in here. What's a reed block? It's a block with reeds attached. A reed is anything that vibrates. You know what a reed is, right? Okay, so for example, here, that's the dull sound of a reed without air going through it, right? Here's the sound of a reed. I'm going to blow on these, and they say that you should never blow on these if you take your accordion apart. If you want to take an accordion apart, just get a beater one. Otherwise, leave it to a professional, because you don't want to mess anything up. But if I blow on these, it makes a glorious mellifluous sound. So, those are reeds in a reed block. This is a reed. This is your brain on reeds. Any questions? So, the reed blocks go in here and they go down there as well. So again, when you press on that key and then your air is going through, it makes that sound. All right. Remember when I made sort of different high-low sounds? That was from pressing buttons. Now, on other accordions, they'll have more than 2 buttons. There's only 2. They're called registers here. There's all different names for this stuff. But a lot of accordions will have, 11, 12, more or less. That moves this thing, this little doohickey. And when this little doohickey moves on this side, it covers up. Let's see if I can show this. It opens up certain reeds and covers up other ones. So in other words, you'll have all of your reeds high and low, and then you'll move this doohickey and it'll cover up the high ones, for example. All right, so that's the front of the accordion. Now, in the middle is the bellows, not pictured. Here's the back. Ooh, doesn't that look complex? It is. You push on these buttons, and these buttons will open up because they're chords. Remember, there's like 3 of them, or 3 notes. So they'll open up several holes here, and those holes are also attached to reed blocks. Here's some of the bass sounds. All right. Boats coming up the Willamette. So there you have the basics of the accordion. The front, the back, the middle is paradoxically just air, a semi-permeable membrane of bellows. And great. Now that you've seen the inside, let's get back to the outside. I'll see you on the other side. Well, wasn't that interesting? We got to see the inner sanctum of the accordion. Well, as I said, I want you to be able to judge the accordion for herself. So, throw away all your preconceived notions. Let's give a listen. Now, this accordion is a red accordion, and I like it because it's red, And also, it's got a musette reed, which is something that gives it that French sound. And I bike to a gig I have at restaurants in Portland with this accordion. It's a little bit lighter. Can you imagine biking in the rain with an accordion? But, of course, I have a case for it. A couple of things I should mention. The loop pedal. Remember when I was going... Well, you press the loop pedal with your foot, and then it repeats things say into the microphone or whatever you do say into the microphone or whatever you do and it stops. And then you press it and it stops. I have a distortion pedal, yeah, just like a guitar, yeah. Sorry, I had to rock out there for a moment. So this is a distortion pedal, and you press it and you get distortion. Let's talk about the varieties of accordion experiences that one can have. As I say, it's played all over the world, and you can play all sorts of musics with it. For example, there is French cafe music. Alright, there's a tarantella, Italy. Bellissima. Alright, let's see what else we have. Oh, well, there's just regular old classical. You could play, now, as I said, there are button accordions, but you can mimic those sounds, and you could play like Tejano music. Let's go further south. You can play tango music. Now, traditionally, tango music is played on an accordion-like instrument called the bandoneon, but you can certainly play it on the accordion. Let's see what else. Well, we have klezmer music. A cold Nacht in Nebelwegen funst der Rumetun. Steile Ingel auf Fartreier kun sich herum. Shut up, Eric. It's about the accordion. How about Arabic music? Yes, indeed. Russian music. Well, the Cajun style music, Clifton Chenier uses a button accordion, but you can play blues and stuff like that even on a piano accordion. Little Johnny Cash for you. All right, let's see what else. Oh my goodness, do you know that in Bulgaria the accordion is huge? That's right. They have an instrument called the gaida, which is like a reed-like bagpipe instrument, and then they sort of transfer that kind of playing to the accordion. And the way you can distinguish it is you can hear lots of ornaments, right? Ornaments are these little twiddly things. So let's play a little Bulgarian. If you want to drive anyone you're living with crazy, practice these ornaments day and night. Speaking of ornaments, the Romani people... Now, this is a controversy. So, you probably know the term gypsy, but gypsy isn't really used anymore. So, let's use the term Romani. You can get in that controversy in the comments section if you want. But all I want to say is, here is some Romani accordion music. And of course, just straight up jazz. And there's other traditions that I really don't know how to play. There's the Irish button accordion. There's the Basque have a version. My goodness, it goes on and on and on. So, oh my goodness, you could play Dolly Parton if you wanted to. There it is. I didn't practice that one. Step like a bed, tumble in the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawn straight and try to come to life. Okay, I'm getting carried away. So, wow. I went on quite a journey. How about you? So my question is, when it comes to accordions, are you experienced? If so, or if not, turn on your music source. Tune in to whatever you want to listen to, YouTube or streaming services. Drop out and experience the accordion. I'll play myself out. There's a lady whose shawl that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.